Welcome live, everyone. Welcome live. If you have questions, you can bring them live here and let's have a session together. Most of the time, there is something that I have noticed about you gentlemen, which is ending up doing things for the sake of accommodating a woman in your life, even when you care about them and maybe you genuinely love them. There is a possibility that maybe she's causing more harm than good on a logical merit, not just on a superficial merit or maybe on an attraction merit, but on a logic merit. So most of you gentlemen, I have found out that you've been having a lot of trouble when it comes to that, because the possibilities of letting a woman go is so low, to an extent that sometimes a lot of things are involved, including emotional attachment. So in the process of trying to work on yourself to detach from a lady, you end up even in a rebound relationship, thinking that maybe that will help you move on. But in the process, she's just coming back to get you attached again. It's just like deepening the wound. And that is when you find yourself in a deep shit that you cannot even remove yourself from. So today I want us to have a one-on-one session, but most importantly, you can ask your questions and I will answer them. So I don't have much time, but if you can ask your questions right now, you will have enough time to get your answers. Now, the one thing that I have also noticed, that on this season, this is on this modern life dating season, it is so hard to build a serious, stable relationship. Okay, and due to that, it's hard to understand women's emotions. It's hard to understand. It's so hard. Okay, so let me answer your questions as we move on. Adu, welcome on board. Adu, you said something about avoidance attachment, and I discovered that my new girl has these. Apparently, her dad left her mom. Okay, when she was 5. Her dad left her mom when she was 5. Okay, that is tricky actually. Now it is affecting her ability to bond because she is emotionally numb. Joshua, welcome on board. Joshua is one of my member on my members on this channel. Welcome, Joshua. So I discovered that my new girl has this avoidant attachment. Apparently, her dad left her mom, okay, when she was 5. Now it is affecting her ability to bond because she is emotionally numb. That is where the problem is, okay? Meaning she can't feel anything emotionally, because if she is avoiding everything because of the avoidance attachment, then that has been her coping mechanism all along. And it is a deep-rooted fear, not fear, attachment, avoidance, that you can't even remove out of her. It's like, let's assume this is the code, okay? This is a bug inside her, okay? Inside a woman's internal operating system. And every time there is an emotion or there is a conversation that is emotional, okay, this code it is something that is so sharp in her internal operating system. So anytime it senses any emotional trigger or anything that is so serious and it needs an emotional attention, the bug that is inside her, it starts it's like it starts the damage inside the body. If it's maybe cutting the nerves, cutting the stomach, cutting the heart. So in the process, anytime she feels an emotional trigger, this cord inside the stomach, okay, because she has been operating on this cord. So it is a system, it's a cord, it's a bug inside her body. So anytime there is an emotional trigger or there is a conversation that needs serious attention, the cord starts the damage. Okay? She feels like something is cutting her inside. Now, for this, she is feeling the pain and it is there. So she has to maneuver around this cord so that the cord can stop the heart. I'm just trying to make it make sense to me. And the only way to stop this cutting and the damage that is causing inside is to be toxic, to be narcissistic, even to cause harm to someone who is around her. So she might act in a specific way, thinking it is the right way, because that enables her to feel good or feel safe inside. And the bug is like when there is a bug on a system, if there is a bug in this phone, and the only way to maneuver around this system, this phone, is to work against the code, and it's the only way this system can operate, this phone can operate. So for her, she, even if being narcissistic, okay, she has to work against it for her to feel safe. It's a pattern. She can't work on herself until she sees a therapist, okay? It's a pattern. She can't heal, if that makes sense. And then some of them are even anxious. The bug is the same. If she is anxious and something is wrong, she will consistently blame you. She will want consistent reassurance every now and then. And if you do not assure her at that very moment, the bug starts to cause harm inside. And until you respond, she will consistently act narcissistic, abusive, lash out, ghost you, until the code stops the harm. And the only way is for her to regulate her brain. Now, we have women who can easily regulate their brain and like find peace to maneuver around the heart or the code after an escalation or after an argument. But now we have those ones who can't really do it until you get involved, even when it will cause more harm to you. Because when you get involved and you calm her down, the cutting inside, the damage that is causing, it will stop. If it was cutting her nerve system consistently, now after you calm her down, you tell her, I understand, or I was wrong, okay, calm down. The cutting slowly now stops. So until she sees someone, a professionalist, you will consistently be worrying. You will have to do something to calm her down. You will be in control of her whole life. You will carry her life. And if you don't do that, it may cause harm. If you do it, it will again cause harm. So you choose which harm. Okay? If you don't do it, it will cause harm to people around her if you won't be around. That's now the other thing, if that makes sense. So let me hope I gave some clarity to you, Adu. Is it the best I let her go to avoid problems? Yes. If you have not had kids with this lady, just let her go at the moment, because it is the best way to move forward. Joshua Kelly. Casey Sander had a video that every woman has a maintenance man. How do I know if I am that man? You can't really know. She is the only one who knows that you are her maintenance man. Her maintenance man. And most of the time, women hide it so deep because when they act in a way that shows that you are a maintenance man, then she will lose the leverage. And she doesn't want to lose the leverage. And the only way to hide that is to act or to cope with a different pattern or a different character that shows security, okay? That shows um, I am this person for the sake of moving forward, but at the same time, for the sake of coping with a sense of security, if that is making sense. Let me hope I've given some insight on that. Okay. Brian, Jeffo, Joshua, welcome on board. Brian, welcome on board. Adu, welcome on board. Brian, don't forget Matthew C. Honey, Shane White of the Lion's Den, and Calvin James, just like the Green Elima. Okay, that is what Brian said. So most of the time, I think there is a problem when it comes to an emotional baggage. There is a problem when it comes to emotional regulations when it comes to women and also men. That is just what is. But now for women, it's easier to have a very stable relationship if you can find a woman who can regulate her emotions. Why? For a man, it's easier for him to find a logic on a physical world. So it's easier for a man to cope with life logically, even when he is suffering emotionally or he is emotionally unstable. For a lady, if she is emotionally unstable, thinking, reasoning, making decisions entirely depends on her emotions. Because she will make decisions on how she feels. And how she feels, it makes her feel safe. Even when it is just an assumption that doesn't really define, okay, how she feels, but it's just how she defines her feelings. That is just an illusion. She will cope with that because everything she sees, she acts, it's entirely on emotions. But for a man, maybe he will feel off balance, but there is always a possibility that most men use logic to make decisions. But for women, it's so hard, and they need to find a way to regulate those emotions so that when they can use even just 50% or 40% logic, it's easier for a man to understand her from his side. So it's easier for a man to surround himself around this lady and to feel safe. But now, if a man is using logic and a lady is consistently using emotions, it's hard for that relationship to balance. A man will have to do 90% of the work, and the lady will need to do 10% of the work. But eventually, you will always be the one who is on the wrong side. Eventually, you are the reason why the relationship is not working. And until you learn to maneuver around that, you will never learn. Why? Most of the time you might think that you are the problem, because when they blame you, they use an evidence that is the past evidence that will make sense to the present, or it will reinforce a character that you did even when it had a different intention, but it came out differently. They will reinforce the last mistake. Okay, they will mention the last mistake to reinforce a current action that you never really intended to do, to come out in a way that she mislabeled it, if that is making sense. So women need to work on themselves to know how to regulate their emotions. But now for men, it's easier for a man to regulate his emotions. It's not easy actually. Like, they can somehow use some logic to move forward, so that helps them to move forward even when it's actually hard and they can be off balance. But for women, the only way to move forward is to cause turmoil, drama, chaos, blame games, mind games, and all that. The person who suffers is the person who surrounds himself around her, I mean. That's the thing. Let me hope I gave you some insight on that. How can I offer my love to her when I know her desire failed? How can I offer my love to her when I know her desire fed? You can't. Do you really know even her desires? If you are very sure of her desires and you are very sure that they fade away, you can never offer love, if that will make sense. Do you know why? Okay. Joshua Kelly. Jeremy, let me hope that made some sense to you. Joshua asked this question. Do you know why? Do you know any woman that have control over their emotions? They seem to be like this only if not attracted. Do you know any woman that have control over their emotions? They seem to be like this only if not attracted. Can you be clear on this, Joshua, so that I can have a better insight? So if you're not attracted to them is when maybe they seem to be like in control of their emotions. Yeah, that is a possibility. That is most of the women who can manage their emotions are the women you can marry when they're still virgins, if that is making sense. But not all, most. I'm not saying all, most of them. Because if they were raised by a healthy background, that is by a father and a mother in their family, and they had parents who were maybe stable, but they were not narcissistic, in the relationship with their marriage, sorry about that. Oh God. Yeah. Nikolai, sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, does any women really have control over their emotions if they're attracted to me? Does any woman really have control over their emotions if they're attracted to me? Most of the time, to be very sure with you, no. Most of especially if a woman chooses if a woman decides to choose attraction as the first signal, like on a physical level as the first thing, it will actually arouse her emotionally, and her feelings will always be on uh, an extreme level. But they tend to find a lot of mistakes, and they will consistently be disqualifying you because they always had a higher expectation on your side. Anytime she is sexually attracted to you, or she is physically, let me use the right word, anytime she is physically attracted to you, at that very moment she actually expects more from you. She expects you to disqualify her. She wants you to play hard. She wants you to just sleep with her and not take anything serious. She wants you to act in a specific way because she has an image of what she thinks this is who you are. And when you do not fulfill that image, that is that perception, she ends up doing what? She ends up overreacting. Because now you're not fulfilling an image of what she thought this is who you are. Because what she thought this is who you are is what now regulates her emotionally, because she feels safe, and it heightens that fantasy. And when she is in a fantasy world, now she can live a fulfilling life. Does any women really have, okay, Jeremiah, women attraction is conditional. That is true. Here's the thing that most of you guys, it's not even attraction. Yeah, it is actually attraction. Women attraction is on a condition, especially if she chose you under the influence of physical attraction. that attraction, it is condition. She can only be with you under a condition. You have to be this man, this type of guy, in this physical state. And if you are different or you act different, eventually she will change. But when you go back and you work on yourself physically and you go back to who you were when she met you at first, it will heighten that fantasy. It won't regulate her emotion, but now it will lower the emotional outburst because now the insecurity is kicking in and she needs to please you. Not all women, but some. If that makes sense. Because yes, her imagination of who you are, it boosts that attraction. And when that imagination stops, the attraction stops. Now she doesn't like you. Now it is your character. Now it is your behavior. Now it's how you're responding. Now it's your tone. It is your voice. When in reality, that image, that person that she thought you are, actually, you are not. It was just a fantasy. Now that she is dealing with the reality on a physical level with you, she is facing that reality, which is logic. And women hate facing logics. They only want to face emotions. Now, in that process, she is triggered because now her fantasy has been messed up with. It's not there. It's logic. That is where trouble is. When it kicks in, oh boy, you don't want that. Because that is when now she will consistently try to act in a certain way. Because to her, that is something is wrong with you actually. Women attraction is conditional. Women love is emotional, not logical, right? Yes, because women don't love men. Women love their offsprings. And when she loves you, most of the time, it is on an emotional level. But when we talk about pure love, it is for their offsprings, and they will do anything for their offsprings. So for you to know if a woman really loves you, they have to please you, they have to work for you, they have to respect you, because now they love you emotionally. And not a genuine pure love, because their love is on a condition. Good explanation. Thanks, Joshua. Do you believe, ma'am, women are not satisfied in their current relationship, especially in her 20s? Wow, okay. Do you believe, ma'am, women are not satisfied in their current relationship, especially in her 20s? Yes, because they are consistently maximizing hypergamy, either consciously or subconsciously, because she believes she can always do better. That is where magic happens. Because when you think you finally have her, she is your lady, you can settle down with her. At first, you will enjoy the sex consistently, respect, empathy, understanding, and caring. But when you finally commit her, when you finally commit to her, there will be lashing out. There will be less sex. There will be no respect. There will be ghosting. Because now hypergamy is kicking in and she thinks she can always do better. Reality is kicking in. The logic that she's facing, it doesn't match with her fantasies. Something is wrong. When something is wrong logically, even when it's not actually wrong, is how she is perceiving reality, that triggers her. And when it triggers her instantly, it is triggering an emotional state. And until she learns that it is her emotional state that it is an emotional state that is being triggered at that very moment, she will react and it will be the problem, because we tend to project how we feel or what we feel to people around us. For you are the cause of the trigger. When I finally realized that, all the fantasies wasn't really a reality, That is when there is a mosquito, a huge mosquito actually. Okay. So yeah. Zerma Bengwa. Do you believe, ma'am? Women are not. Yes. You're big welcome on board. She may try to break you to make you meet her expectations or leave, and expect that to happen. Okay? Let me hope that mosquito is not coming again. Okay. Why women still desire bad boy and stay with nice guys? Because bad boys can arouse them emotionally. Okay? Because women tend to also desire an emotion, they tend to miss an emotional arousal. Like if you can arouse her emotionally, there is a possibility that she will sleep with you because that raises a fantasy and feelings in her internal state of being. But now, when it comes to a long lasting relationship, they can't keep up with that bad boy. They only want the bad boy who can sleep around with them, then move forward. It's not healthy, but they think that the bad boys helps them to deal with an emotional state of being because they arouse them emotionally, and it is just a trigger. Okay, even when they get triggered emotionally, they end up sleeping with bad boys because bad boys are not predictable, and bad boys act most of the time as if they deserve without taking accountability of the sexual gratification. I act as if I belong, I act as if I deserve without taking any accountability. And that is what some of the women want or expect, at least, if they want to fulfill their emotional intimacy. And they can't do that with a potential partner because a potential partner cannot act like a bad boy. And they can't be in a long term relationship with a bad boy because they, again, don't want to be responsible for the emotional deregulations of the bad boy, and they can't handle that emotional baggage. But they just want that experience with these boys, then move forward. But they do not know that that is what is triggering them to act in that way. Why attraction is not equal to why attraction is not equal to compatibility and emotional security? Good question. Why attraction is not equal to compatibility and emotional security? Because attraction is a physical state of being. When I feel attracted to you, it is on a physical level. I don't know your character, but I have a feeling that this is your character. Okay? I don't know who you are on a human to human level, so there is no connection. There is only chemistry where I feel like everything is fine. We are flirting, we are giggling, we are laughing, and I feel safe. I also feel like I belong. But feeling like I belong is because I like you on a physical level. There is a physical attraction. But I don't really know you on a human to human level, so I don't know your character. And maybe my preference, a specific character that I will prefer on a man will be maybe kind or maybe narcissistic. Either way, it depends on who she is and what she prefers, because that makes her feel safe around this guy. So when the physical attraction finally fades away, or maybe it slows down because now the excitement is not there and everything now is normal, that is when she will start acting weird Because at that time now, the human to human level connection needs to cover up the space between the physical attraction that has actually gone low, is from maybe a 90% to 70 or to 50 because of the character she expected from you. Now, because at that moment, when a woman starts to measure your character on a feeling, they tend to find a lot of mistakes because they are consistently looking for a way to disqualify you unconsciously so that they can maximize hypergamy and they prefer another man. So in the process, you might end up realizing that if she is physically attracted to you, you can never sustain that attraction forever. Okay, because it is just a fantasy. And when they come to a realization of what they thought you were, that is when everything changes and they need to find the right way to cope with this type of reality. Either be toxic, be narcissistic. Okay, so, and in that process, maybe even fear will kick in the process, and they think that because I am acting this way, because Isaac is the reason why I feel this way or I act this way, when it has actually nothing to do with you. Let me hope that made some sense, Jeremiah. How to know if a woman is... Okay, sorry. How to know? I'm not feeling well, actually. I'm just trying to hype myself up. I don't know why, but how to know if a woman is performing feminine? She must obviously have empathy. You can easily tell her energy. That is where the first thing, that is the first sense you will need as a man. Like how she's acting depends entirely on her energy, her response, her language. If she is positive and she has a feminine energy, most of the time she's calm. Okay? She's gentle, she has empathy. Okay? You can easily tell by the energy. Like you cannot fake a frequency. That is the weird thing. If she's narcissistic, she has a toxic energy and a toxic character or behavior. She will act negative. She will act as if she doesn't want that relationship. You can easily tell a negative body language actually. When you ask her something, she will say, or she will lash out. Like you can easily tell. It's something you can read. But if it's something, and it is a consistent pattern behavior that is consistently negative, but at first they will act innocent and they will flirt more because now on a front end game they're still trying to know you and they also want to belong, so they will perform and use the language of women, okay, for you to like them and accept them. Maybe why women do not know their own psychology. You can Jeremiah, why women do not know their own psychology? Because psychology needs to be empty, but they don't know that it needs to be empty. They are consistently asking questions that have no answers to, and that amplifies a negative energy in a psychological world. And when it amplifies a negative energy in the psychological world, now that again amplifies fear or maybe emotional baggage, or maybe it amplifies another trigger that, okay, that will move her off center. But at the same time, that is when she will start blaming you because she doesn't know what is wrong. And she doesn't know what is wrong because she thinks you are the problem. So she has unnecessary questions that have no answers to. And when she lacks the answers, the negative energy consistently piles up. Now it arouses her on a negative state emotionally, and she will lash everything and blame everything on you. But she needs to understand that those questions that she's trying to ask herself, there are no answers to those questions, and she needs to be inside and accept the what is without trying to understand things on a psychological world. She has to be in it and not create space between you and her. Once a woman thinks that she knows you, she has a lot of questions. She has a lot of judgments. She sees a lot of mistakes. She's always looking for a way to disqualify you. And in that process, she needs every question she has in a psychological world, she needs answers. When she doesn't have answers, she only gets mistakes. When she gets mistakes consistently, she is disqualifying you. For women are consistently looking for a way to disqualify men. And men are trying to find a reason just to qualify a woman. Oh, I went to this bar, I met this Christine, okay? She was looking cute, and eventually I never really liked her, but those tits did it for me. I never really liked Hannah, but the smile did it for me. I never really liked who? Sophia, but the ass did it for me. That is what men will say. They are trying to consistently look for a way to qualify women. But women are consistently looking for a way, subconsciously, most of the time it's not a conscious thing, to disqualify men. I met with Isaac in the bar. He pulled up in this Mercedes. He pulled up in this Range Rover. But his energy is just off. But something is just not right. But I just never liked this. So in the process, you end up realizing that, oh, you are dealing with someone who has an assumption of whom she thinks this is who you are. Because she is consistently looking for a way to disqualify you. Yobi, do you think women are male-centered by nature? Do you think women are male-centered by nature? Yeah. Yes. Most of them, yes. I can rate it on a scale of to 100. I can rate it an 80%. Joshua, today you have a lot of questions. Let me first see how many questions I have answered actually since we started this live. And if you're live, follow me on Instagram. Okay, 20 people here. You can follow me on Instagram. I think I have only 15 or 14 followers, and let's at least reach 30. You can't be coming on live and not following me on Instagram. And yeah, so that I can also try to figure things out better on my side. So I have answered how many questions? 1 from Adu, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, I think I have answered 14 or 15. 14 or 13, I mean questions. She may try to break you. Yeah, that I answered. Why women do not know their own psychology? Yeah, that I have actually answered. Do you think women are male? Let me hope that I also give you an answer. How do I kill my desire? How do I kill my desire to want someone? Really? Someone specific? How do I kill my desire to want someone? Is it someone specific? Here's a question. Is it someone specific? Or maybe you feel attracted to specific people. If it is a specific people, it's easier to kill that. But is it someone specific in your life right now? Let me know. I'm waiting for your answer, Jeremiah. Is it someone specific? Answer me, Jeremiah. I'm waiting for your answer right now, actually. When Jeremiah is still writing down, if it's someone specific, it's easier. Figure out something you don't like about them. You don't like about them, okay? Let it be something you don't really like about them. It won't happen instantly. Obviously, it will fade away. It will take time, but at least it will help you to cope up with those emotions and feelings. Or maybe you try to compare them to someone who might look like them in your past and you never really liked them, and assume that is that person. It helps you to cope with those feelings and emotions, but it's not the right thing to do. You just have to Adam, welcome to Loyal Fans. Thanks for joining, Adam. Thanks for joining to Loyal Fans. Wow. Thanks for joining to Loyal Fans, Adam. Now, if you are a new member, actually, you can join and be one of my loyal fans, or again, you can also follow me on Instagram. That will be better, actually. That will be something that I will appreciate. Okay. You can't be here. I only have 14 followers and I have more than 10,000 here followers. So at least just leave right now, go follow me on Instagram and then come back. That is something that I will prefer from you. And for those ones who have been having sessions with me, yeah, I see it's something that some of you are benefiting from it. But I will try also to adjust and see how to maneuver around in the easiest way possible. Because on my side, I find it hard because of time management, actually. Some of you guys are in the US, and right now it's 9 p.m. on your side. Maybe it's still early, maybe afternoon or still morning. Okay, maybe it's in the afternoon on your side. But when it's 12 p.m., I mean when it's midnight on my side, when it's midnight on my side, on your side it's almost 5 or maybe 6 in the evening. So I can't really balance, and I don't want to burn out and come out to have sessions with you when I'm actually burning out and we can't even help each other. Okay, so I'm trying to adjust that. Not everyone here, but some, especially those gentlemen who come from the US. It has been hard. Yeah, it has been really hard. Okay. Okay, I have been watching you. This is Adam. Adam, I have been watching you, but never. Let me first see if I can. Manage. How can I do that? Okay. I have been watching you, but never could catch you on live because here it is 3:30 a.m. in Korea. Wow. Wow. Okay. At least today you've managed to. It's 3:30 a.m. 3:30 a.m. Wow. That's late on your side, actually. Not late, early. Yeah. 3:30 a.m. is late at night. 2:25 a.m. in my country. Wow. Yeah, still at night. Wow. In Korea, Bekwa also is in. I don't know if Bekwa you are in Jeremiah. I don't know if you are in a different country. Self-awareness without embodiment is just betterment. That is true. So welcome on board, Adam, and thanks for tuning in. Actually, I really appreciate it. Yeah, and being a loyal fan. I appreciate it actually. So my question is how to stop performing masculine man. How to stop performing masculine man. Can you go deeper, dive deeper on that? Kindly. Thank you so much. You are a blessing. I have seen a lot of my mistakes, giving too much, and she constantly manipulates and pull back, and she was playing me so much. That is frustrating and disappointing, actually. You have this, you got this. It's not easy, but it will work out. Okay, it will work out eventually. You're welcome. You're welcome, world. Anomose, welcome on board. Prol, welcome on board. Tell us in which country are you from. In your recent videos, you state that anytime she comes back, it's just a game, using you to feel in control, and you should avoid it. But it can finally be genuine if she has done a deep self uh, analysis. How can you tell the difference? It's a pattern. If she has been walking away or pulling back and then coming back, pulling back and then coming back, acting as if she's interested and she wants something genuine, you have to measure everything on a logical state whereby you use data, the pattern of the specific behavior. Is it a positive behavior? Okay. Does she has high cooperation? When you ask for something, is this something that will help her? Because you have to maneuver around in a different state of trying to always understand things logically and not use feelings for you to get an instant feedback that is healthy for you. So you need to understand that sometimes it's so hard, but it does work if you can easily understand a woman's character and her consistent pattern. If she's trying to work on herself, is she lashing out consistently? Is she nagging out consistently? Is she also showing a negative body language consistently? So you learn that and then you move forward knowing that, oh, this is a pattern that has been repeating. So at least I have data. Even when I am not 100% sure, I have some data that if it goes south, I can instantly walk away without blaming myself, because in the process, I was also getting some benefit. Because when she's pleasing you, she's also getting some benefit. So when she changes, you instantly walk away from the relationship and not wait for too long to get that punishment, to get that damage emotionally, physically, and all that. Okay. Now, I heard from her friends she is posting regrets and love loss posts. It was so narcissistic, but I am so happy now. Wow. Wow. Now, I heard from her friends she is posting regrets and love lost posts. It was so narcissistic, but I am so happy now. Wow. I'm happy, well, that you are happy. Okay. I'm happy that you moved on. Bro, you need to understand yourself first before you understand her. Exactly. You need to understand your pattern. That is your attachment style. Even if you are secure, you either have some anxious in you, or some avoidance in you, or some disorganized in you. You must have a 5% in you, and then figure out which specific women can easily trigger that in you, so that you can easily know how to cope with that attachment style when moving forward, so that when the moment you are a secure man, you can easily move forward with an understanding that I am a secure man, but I also have a 5% or a 10% anxious or avoidant. So that when someone triggers you and you feel something is not right, your brain has to know, okay, this attachment style still exists in me, and specific people who have a specific character will always trigger that in me, and I just need to find a way to cope with this and be aware of this pattern in me or this behavior. Sorry about that, or these reactions from me. Okay? Any questions? I only have around 15 minutes to end this. So if you have your questions, you can raise your questions, okay? You can do that. Thank you so much, Jeremy and Coach. You're welcome. You're welcome, world. Well, be on board actually, you guys. Why can't you be a member? Is it's only how many dollars to join? Okay. $1.49 per month. 1.49. You can't just support a lady and be a member, at least to gain some knowledge. Really? At least that is the least I expect. Can I even get around 20 people or maybe 10? So when they ask, they say join. Okay, this is my channel. You go here. There is join, and then you join. Okay, and then start by adding a payment method. Add a credit or debit card, and then they will show you. But there is loyal fund that is 1.49 monthly, and then there is these other ones: priority reply to comments, specific amount. Then there is member shout out, 5.49 monthly. You have to just join. Then there is exclusive members only. Then early access to new videos. It includes all of this: early access to new videos, exclusive members only videos, member shout outs. I will also shout you out. Then photos and status updates, you will get them sooner. And then there is another let's connect on a different level, where we can have a session or a conversation with you privately. Something that is so private and doesn't need a session, but something that is so deep and private that you don't need you don't need a session, but you just need to have a conversation with me. This 24.99, it's actually 45 minutes to open up, and it can go up to one. If it's monthly, it will be specific 2 days maybe, and 45 minutes depending on. Then there is more to that, but that is not actually serious. Then there is another one, monthly shout out. I'll shout out to you monthly, but it's more of a support actually. It's not really a monthly shout out. Yes, I'll shout you out and also have a conversation with you on a private level if you need any support to grade all that. And I will have to shout out to you monthly, if that makes sense. Then there is appreciation and link up, where you can appreciate me by sending $249. You appreciate my work, and then we can link up if you want to. Yeah. How will that help me? That will actually boost me, actually boost my, yeah. So those will actually help. So these things are here and they can help me, but the one that will help more, and it's actually cheap, is the $1.49 monthly. But it's hard, but you know what, yeah. So if you want to support a lady, you can join actually and be a member. And monthly, you can be spending some amount just for appreciation and linking up and wanting, maybe telling me what's happening in your life and how can I help and what advice do you need, or maybe do you just need someone to talk to. Sometimes that is just what you need. So if you have a link up with me, we can just have a conversation via Google Meet, and we can just chat, okay, and let all your emotional outbursts out and rant, have a conversation, okay, if that makes sense. So you can subscribe and you can also follow me on Instagram. So you can ask her questions, okay? Because I have realized that most of you left actually. So let me answer your questions so that you can come back. Thank you so much. You are a blessing. I have seen a lot of my mistakes, giving too much, and she consistently manipulates and pulls back. And she was playing me so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. Anonymous, in your recent video, okay, in your recent videos, you state that anytime she comes back, it's just a game. Again, in your recent videos, you state that anytime she comes back, it's just a game, using you to feel in control, and you should avoid it. But it can finally be genuine if she has done a deep self-analysis. I think I answered you, Anon, and let me hope you actually got a better one. Now I heard from, that is World asked, now I heard from her friends. She is posting regrets and love lost post. It was so narcissistic, but I am happy. I'm so proud of you, Prol. I'm so proud of you. Jeremiah, if that is a name, Jeremiah or Jeremiah. Don't worry about my accent, okay? Bro, you need, okay. Yeah, I read that actually. So let's go back to Jeremiah. My love question, what is the greatest fear of women? Okay, my love question, what is the greatest fear of women in relationship? Losing leverage. There is insecurity, a deeper insecurity in her. Losing leverage, which means losing control. And losing control isn't entirely about the control of a relationship. There is a possibility that also losing the control of a relationship will heighten that insecurity and maybe fear. But losing control of themselves. Losing control of themselves means I perceive something as a threat or a trigger that's dangerous, and I don't know what is wrong. So I have to act in a certain way to cope with what I think is dangerous to me, okay? Because that is the only way I can have I can be in control. So when I am on a roller coaster of different emotions, I have to cope with that emotion in a specific way, because when I don't cope with it on a specific way, now I am losing control of myself, and someone else is in control. And for me to be in control, I might even end up being narcissistic, if that makes sense. Okay, I hope that made some sense. So sometimes when women fear losing control of the relationship, but they also fear losing control of themselves. So you have to figure that out. Does she fear losing control of the relationship, or does she fear losing control of herself because of how she perceives the relationship? And when the emotions are too much, she is losing herself. So she's losing control of herself. And she can only act on a certain way to get that feedback, because that feedback communicates it's now safe and she is in control of herself. So you have to entirely figure that out. Sometimes if they're being influenced by fear, they might be losing control of themselves. And sometimes they might be losing control of the relationship, because that existence or your existence communicates security. And when it communicates security at that very moment, it ends up showing that I am in control of myself. When I can't control the relationship, I won't get a pattern that communicates safety. And now my emotions will be all over, so I will lose myself. I will lose control of myself. There is more to that, obvious. Mom, can a sex addict, characterless girl turn high value when she met a high value man? Wow. Okay, you should take her to a rehab. Or what's the place, gentlemen? Mom, can a sex? Yeah. So let me hope it starts there. It starts with taking an initiative of taking her out on something, taking her on for checkup. Okay, there is more to that, but don't expect her to be a high value lady. So my answer is no. No. Okay, fact shot, no. No. Sex addict? Really? You're not serious. You're not serious fact, right? Okay. Not drug addict. Sorry about that. A sex addict? That's a dangerous game you're playing. No. But they might mold. There is only evolving, and you can't really know whom she will, when she evolves, whom will she become? Because some women, they just need that one man for them to change. So this is a confirmation that they're not changing for themselves, they are changing for you, which means she's loving you on a condition, and you don't know that condition. But there are always low possibilities, only a 10% or 5% chance. Are you willing to give that 5% chance? Yes. If you're willing, then go for it. But don't come here complaining. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I did not tell you. So Adam say this. Is saying this. So I believe I'm highly attractive guy. Okay. I believe I am highly attractive guy in the town where all girls come to see me, but I reject most women. For me, I get attracted to women rarely. I'm dealing with one girl who lashes out. Can you hear this? I believe I'm highly attractive guy in the town where all girls come to see me, but I reject most women. For me, I get attracted to women rarely. I'm dealing with one girl who lashes out. Wow. So you trigger hypergamy, you trigger an emotional state in her. Be ready for her traumas, her emotional outburst. Be ready for that. You did, and thank you. Okay, Mose. Yeah, I did answer your question. However, there is an intense attraction between us. She has a boyfriend, but I feel that the relationship is keeping her from growing into a better person. Really? So you have an imagination of her potentials. Really? Sometimes the imagination of someone, of her potentials, isn't really her potentials. It's just an imagination of whom she might be. I know it. Because sometimes it is actually true, but there is a possibility again that you believe in people so much and you can see that light in them, but until they are willing to work with that light, I don't know. I don't know, man. There is an intense attraction between us. That always often happens. Can I give you a secret? There is a possibility that it's either a physical attraction or an emotional arousal attraction. So figure that out and see which one is working at the moment and how can you move forward with the acceptance that if it is a physical attraction, expect emotional outbursts, lashing out and nagging you out in the near future. Adam Park. Akanshis she's dealing with the negativity. I'm keeping distance right now. What is good way to approach the situation? Really, Adam. You want to find the good way to approach the situation? Calm. Provide a calming environment when around her. Try to laugh more often, or not laugh, like make a lot of jokes when around her, just to make her laugh. And also in the process, know that it will have a mental impact, an emotional damage, an emotional impact or a mental impact that is damaging to you. Expect that. That is a guarantee. Are you willing to take that? Go for it. Okay. Scalomanda. Eh, that's an interesting An interesting name, Skilomanda. 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 That's an interesting name. I lost my job. Oh, okay. Sorry, yeah. I was not supposed to joke about that. I lost my job. She was there for me recently. She told me that she wants to focus on herself. I must do as well. I must do so as well. But when I ask her some questions, she becomes emotional. What should I do? And she wants to focus on herself, and I must do as well. Recently, she told me that she wants to focus on herself. She got what she wanted. When she supported you, she wanted something in return. Maybe she found it. Or maybe she thinks she can do better. That is why she's getting emotional, because she can't answer those sensitive questions. They need a lot of justification why she needs to work on herself. When in reality, she thinks she needs to maximize hypergamy and get herself a better man. I don't care. That is the fact. You rather accept it right now, because when you ask a specific question to a lady and then she becomes emotional, then there is a possibility that she's having a conflict between choosing you or moving forward to maximize hypergamy. Okay, so just choose you and do you. Fact chat, ma'am, can really fact chat. I think I will hide you. Why? Because your question has become too much. Change was my delusion. Actually, that makes sense. I don't trust them anymore. Does make sense. I'm aware of that also. Well, okay. I appreciate that you are also aware. Fact chat, ma'am. How many percentage of wives cheat with their player hubby? I'm not getting you, fact chat. Can you be clear on yourself, please? Michael Fabano. Welcome on board, Michael. Now, let me hope I have finished the live. And guys, tune in. Follow me on Instagram. Remember to join me and be a channel member be among the members on my videos. Okay, join me here. Okay, and be among one of the people here. And join me on Instagram. Actually, I just need 10 of you to follow me on Instagram. That is all I'm asking. That will be enough. Let me hope you've learned something. And if you want sessions, you can reach out. But right now, I just want favors. Yeah, maybe it's too much. I'm asking too much. You can join me. You can come here, okay, on my channel, and then they ask join. You click this black thing, they ask join, then join with 1.49 monthly. You just click join, okay? I know that is too much. You know what? Forget about it. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, follow me on Instagram. Be safe, take care, gentlemen, and let's have peace. Bye bye.